Hey, it's Roger, creator of the Azure Sandbox. I'm back, and in this video, we're going to cover the Azure MySQL Flexible Server configuration, and in particular, the Getting Started section. So I always do my work in the Sandbox from VS Code using the Windows Subsystem for Linux remote development extension. So we'll go ahead and spin up VS Code. Okay. So here we are in VS Code, and you can see in our Explorer view, this is the MySQL Flexible Server configuration. So we'll just go ahead and change the directory to that subdirectory. So we'll do a cd terraform Azure RM MySQL. And if I list the files out in that folder, you can see they line up with the graphical representation that I see here in my Explorer view, so we are in the right place. I also need to set up an environment variable for my service principal secret. So I'll do that here. And once I've done that, I'm ready to run Bootstrap. So Bootstrap just goes out and grabs some settings from those two state files for VNet Shared and VNet App to simplify our configuration. And it really is only asking for one thing, which is the name of the database that we're going to configure in the MySQL Flexible Server instance. So we'll go with the default, which is testdb, and Bootstrap's done. And you can see that we've created the terraform.tfvars file. So we can now proceed with the Terraform portion of getting started. So the first thing I'm going to do there is do a Terraform init and initialize my providers. And you can see now that my providers have been initialized. I've got a new .terraform directory that has all the binaries from my two providers, which is Azure RM and random. The lock file associated with those providers is also here. So what we can do now is make sure that our configuration is syntactically valid. So we can do a Terraform validate. So we passed the syntax check. That doesn't mean it's going to provision. It just means we don't have any syntax errors. So the next thing we'll do is view a plan for what would happen if we elected to apply this configuration. So if we were to apply this configuration, Terraform would provision 3 new resources, it would change nothing, and it would destroy nothing. So the 3 new resources are a random ID that we use to name our MySQL Flexible Server instance. Then, of course, the MySQL Flexible Server instance gets provisioned, and then a database in that MySQL Flexible Server instance. So that's exactly what I'm expecting. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my configuration. Okay, so we're off provisioning the MySQL Flexible Server instance. That'll probably take 5 or 6 minutes. And then after that, the database will get provisioned. Okay, the MySQL Flexible Server instance was provisioned successfully, and now we're provisioning the database in that instance, which shouldn't take too long. And there it is. we provisioned 3 new resources, changed nothing, and destroyed nothing, which was the same as our plan. And if we take a look at the state file, notice we have a state file now, a local state file. If I do a Terraform state list, we can see all the stuff in the state file. And here's our flexible server, or our database. This is our flexible server, our random ID, and a couple secrets that got used to provision the admin user and the admin password. So I think that's it for the getting started section. So we're going to pick up in the next video on smoke testing. Thanks.